Let's just jump right into this. Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're going to unpack the hidden psychology of everyday communication. Have you ever actually stopped to think about the invisible rules governing the words coming out of your mouth? Probably not, right? Well, today we're exploring a seriously fascinating concept from Arabic rhetoric that completely changes how we understand the sentences we use every single day, especially when we're telling other people what to do. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with Section 1, Beyond True and False. Then Section 2, the two types of creation. After that, Section 3, the illusion of commands. From there, we'll jump into Section 4, 10 hidden meanings, and we'll wrap it all up with Section 5, context and tone rule. All right, Section 1, Beyond True and False, unlocking all in Shah. We're stepping way beyond that simple binary of just true and false. We're getting into a philosophy of speech that doesn't just, describe the world, it actively creates it. So the absolutely crucial concept here is al-insha. In traditional Arabic rhetoric, speech is basically divided into statements you can verify and statements you just can't. Look, if I tell you it rained yesterday, I'm reporting on reality, right? You can check if I'm lying or telling the truth. But al-insha, it's an entirely different beast. It literally translates to creative speech. You can't judge it as true or false because it brings a brand new reality into existence the exact second you speak it. Think about it. If I say, write the lesson, or if I ask, did you understand? I'm not reporting facts. I'm actually creating a demand. I'm initiating an action right then and there. Moving on to Section 2, the two types of creation, request-based versus non-request-based. Now that we've got a handle on how speech can be a creative act, it's worth noting that rhetoricians neatly divide this creative speech into two distinct buckets. Let's take a look at those. On one side, we have talabi, which is request-based. This is when your speech actively demands something that isn't currently happening. You're basically asking for a change in the world. And then on the other side is ghair talabi, or non-request-based speech. Now, this creates a new meaning or expresses a state of being, and this is key, it attaches absolutely no demand to the listener. Now, focusing on that request-based bucket, the talabi, there are 5 main tools you've got at your disposal. You have the command, where you demand an action. You have prohibition, which is demanding someone stop an action. Then there's interrogation, asking a question, a wish, which is desiring something near impossible, and vocative, which is just calling out to someone to get their attention. Now, for the rest of this explainer, we're really going to put our magnifying glass directly on that very first bullet point, the command. But just to complete our framework before we completely pivot, here are the 4 non-request-based forms. We've got exclamation, like, what a beautiful sky. Praise or blame, like, he is an honest man. Oaths, swearing to do something, and hope, like hopefully good things are coming. Notice how literally none of these require the listener to go out and fetch something for you. They create emotion, for sure, but definitely not obligations. Which brings us to Section 3, the illusion of commands breaking the rules. Okay, we've got our foundational grammar out of the way, but I'll let you in on a little secret. What we think we know about commands, it's kind of largely a myth. Close the door. In the strictest, most literal dictionary definition, a command is the demand of an action by way of obligation. It's a direct, authoritative order from a superior to a subordinate. Close the door. Finish your homework. There's zero room for debate, just strict compliance. But I want you to really think about this for a second. Is that always what a command actually means? Do we really walk around all day just barking literal militaristic orders at our friends, family, and colleagues? Of course we don't. The grammatical structure might technically be an order, but the reality, it's something entirely different. And that leads us to Section 4, 10 hidden meanings, how tone overrides grammar. Honestly, this brings us to the most fascinating part of our analysis. Arabic rhetoric actually identified that a command structure can completely morph into entirely different meanings based solely on how it's used. Look at this. In every single English example here, we're technically using a command, but listen closely to the hidden motive. First up, advice. When a good friend says, take care of yourself, they aren't forcing you to do anything, they're guiding you. Second is supplication. God, forgive me. You're using an imperative verb toward a higher power, which completely flips the dynamic, right? It's a plea, not an order. Third, the polite request, or alatimas. You're sitting with an equal at dinner and you say, pass me the salt, please. It's totally cooperative. Fourth is permission. Go ahead, take a seat. You aren't commanding them to sit, you're just lifting the restrictions so they feel comfortable. And fifth, the threat. Imagine the heavy, dark tone here. Go on, try it. Grammatically, sure, you're telling them to do the action, but psychologically, you are promising severe consequences if they actually go through with it. But the hidden motives get even more complex. Sixth is impossibility. Prove it. You're commanding them to do something specifically because you know they can't. You're highlighting their inability. Seventh is mockery. Picture someone rolling their eyes. Yeah, keep talking. You definitely don't actually want them to keep talking. You're just showing disdain for their words. Eighth is encouragement. Think of a coach yelling, "Keep going," from the sidelines. It's a command acting as this massive positive push of energy. Ninth is indifference. Stay or leave, it's up to you. The command here just signifies equality between the choices. It really doesn't matter what you do. And finally, the warning. A sudden, sharp watch out. This isn't an order to literally stare at something. It's an urgent alert to dodge danger. Let's bring it all home with Section 5. Context and tone rule. The true dictators of meaning. Let's take a step back and really synthesize all these wild examples we just went through. Because what we've just seen proves that grammar, it's really just the vehicle. The true drivers are context and tone. And this is the absolute core takeaway you should lock in from today's explainer. In both ancient Arabic rhetoric, the study of al-insha, and the way we speak modern English today, a command form simply does not equal a real command. The literal words are completely hijacked by your context, your vocal tone, and the situational power dynamic. When you speak, you are instantly creating a complex social reality, whether you're pleading, threatening, mocking, or encouraging. Which brings us to the end of our journey today and leaves us with a pretty critical question. You now know that speech isn't just about reporting the truth. It's a literal creative force. Every single time you issue an imperative, your tone is secretly dictating the reality of that relationship. So, knowing the incredible hidden power you now hold, how are you going to use your next command?